Whether it be aliens, the pyramids, or even Bigfoot, conspiracies are something that have been a high-quality source of entertainment for quite a long time now. To all of us who have been alive for the past 40 years, we've all seen a lot of crazy conspiracies arise on the internet time and time again. And while some of them seem somewhat believable, there are a lot of batshit insane conspiracies out there that a lot of people can't help but to take a little bit too seriously, and it's led to a lot of people's degradation between being able to tell what's real and what isn't. In some cases, some people become extremely skeptical and they refuse to believe anything even if it's an outright fact. They become massive contrarians who then start believing in crazy batshit conspiracies such as flat earth theory, and in other cases, some people believe pretty much anything that is told to them, no matter how crazy it is. And recently, I can't help but to notice that a lot of people are quickly becoming the latter. A lot of people right now don't really have a lot of critical thinking skills, they don't have media literacy, so it becomes incredibly easy to present something to them in a very entertaining fashion, and they'll run with it and think that everything that is presented to them is facts. Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, social media, and the internet in general has spawned a whole subculture of individuals who can't help but believe anything that is immediately presented to them as fact. Today I've gathered some clips and videos to present an example of how clueless and gullible people can really be. So somebody on Twitter dropped this TikTok right here claiming that this helicopter was dropping mosquitoes on everybody. This post got 1.5 million views as of right now, and everybody in the reply section got absolutely fucking haywire, seeing comments as, "Why the hell are we tolerating this crap? Ain't no way," and my personal favorite, "They know the sheeple won't do anything, they don't even notice the chemtrails." This video literally has it all, including the presentation. It comes complete with music, the narrative, and an eye-catching plot. The plot being the helicopter, of course, because anybody would question a helicopter flying around in circles with a smoke trail coming from behind it. As I mentioned, when it comes to videos like these, there are going to be some people that take this at face value and run with the information at hand. They are going to form some insane conclusions without ever actually doing any research. This leads to some people having some very dangerous ideas, which I'm going to touch on a little bit later. When it comes to videos like these, it's very important to do your research and actually figure out the facts at hand, which is why I took it upon myself to figure out what exactly was going on here. Upon doing some research, the release of genetically modified mosquitoes is definitely a thing that has been in practice for a long time now. These mosquitoes are genetically sterile in an attempt to try to reduce the population of other mosquitoes when mating season comes around. However, when it comes to the release of these mosquitoes, they are not released airborne. To release millions of adult mosquitoes in that altitude would be incredibly unfeasible, which is why these mosquitoes are released in their larval form in waterways and other bodies of water. Somebody in the hidden replies section of this tweet said that this could potentially be a gender reveal, but I highly doubt that. While the volume of mosquitoes required to create a trail like this is incredibly unlikely and unfeasible, I still don't know for certain exactly what this black trail of smoke is emanating from this helicopter. What I do know for certain though is that even though some of these people that are taking this seriously seem like trolls, there are definitely a bunch of people that are taking this video way too fucking seriously and are starting to make some very dangerous assumptions when there is no evidence to this claim. It's just a load of fear-mongering that doesn't benefit anybody. Speaking of dangerous assumptions and fear-mongering, this leads me into the topic that I actually wanted to talk about today. When it comes to short-form content like TikTok, Instagram Reels, or even YouTube Shorts, there is a whole subculture of people that make videos on big events and make up absolute bullshit to try to scare people into believing what they have to say.
So it was announced earlier that Burning Man was declared a national emergency because it was flooded. And so they sent in FEMA, which already seemed kind of like a weird reason to send in FEMA and keep anyone from leaving the festival. 73,000 people they're keeping locked in there for flooding. Now there's some new terrifying information coming out that there's a virus on the loose in the festival and that people are getting really sick with boils, vomiting, hemorrhaging. To me, this makes way more sense than flooding in terms of what their response was to the situation. This is a text from one of the festival goers, and he said, "Yo, just figured you should hear from me first. Daryl is crazy sick with something that has him coughing up really coagulated blood. Medic showed up wearing a full suit. No idea where he is now. I would stay inside your camper." And he goes on to say that an outside agency is putting up a fence. This is a different festival goer that said, "You're never gonna fucking believe it. They're saying it's Ebola." Freaking Ebola at Burning Man, guys. If this is true, that is insane. I just hope that everyone ends up being okay and that they make it out.
If you don't know, Burning Man is currently going through a natural disaster. Burning Man is a musical festival that is attended by thousands and thousands of people. So when a natural disaster is afflicting more than 70,000 people, it is no surprise that an agency such as FEMA would step in and try to help all 70,000 of those people. But to my utter and complete surprise, I was completely shocked to find out that FEMA is actually not present at Burning Man, because none of what she said is actually true at all. But you could have guessed that, and you can tell that I'm obviously being sarcastic. Despite a quick Google search being a few seconds away from your reach, and being able to tell you all the information you need to know about Burning Man and telling you that all of this shit is a straight up lie, you can still bet your ass that there is going to be tons of people that take this type of information and run with it. But some of these people don't just like to believe this information, they like to add to it. They like to add to the conspiracy and spread even more fear-mongering bullshit, and I have some perfect examples of this right now. So what do batshit crazy conspiracists like to add to pretty much every conspiracy theory? That's right, it's either aliens or demons, and in this case, we got a lot of believers of demonism going on. As you can see, this TikTok that I just showed you guys was reposted on Twitter by this account named Shadow of Ezra, which is followed by 81,000 people, and all he does is, or she, my bad, is post incredibly batshit insane conspiracy videos. Under this very same post, which had almost 80,000 views, we can see that there are a lot of people claiming Satanism and paganism in the comments. And all of them are claiming nonsense, such as claiming that Burning Man is one giant Satan ritual that is only there to sacrifice other people. We have insane replies such as this one, where this person is saying all things like sporting events and concerts or rituals, and most all of the events are demonics, which is a batshit insane take to make because there is no fucking proof, there is no evidence that anybody can ever provide that'll actually prove that any of these events or rituals are demonic in any way, shape, or form. And if you think this is a one-off comment that only one person was insane enough to make, well, I gotta say that there's actually more, and they're all kind of funny to read. This one right here, for example, says, sounds like they are sacrificing all those people that were there for the satanic ritual. And then we have this dude saying, same thing that always happens, satanic energy harvesting ritual fueled by drugs and orgies, capped off by recreating the Wicker Man burning, i.e. human sacrifice reenactment. Let me know if you need any other questions answered. Oh golly gee man, I really hope that you can answer all my burning fucking questions about something that is completely made up. Ironically enough, this reply right here is the most sane one. I wonder if they're testing out the 5G frequencies on the jab to see what happens. 73,000 is a lot of people. I find this fucking hilarious because of that whole conspiracy that COVID shots were only implanting you with some fucking chip. These people genuinely have brain rot because of all of the conspiracy theories that they're consuming. And platforms like TikTok don't make it any better because when you're constantly watching the same clips over and over again, back to back to back, scrolling on a fucking phone, especially when there's so much of them out there, you're gonna get your brain rotted by all of this misinformation. And accounts that post this type of shit love to feed off people's gullibility. I know that the type of people that run these types of accounts are more than smart enough to do a simple Google search and basically get all the information they need and fact check the validity of their claims, but I also know for a fact that these people would rather feed into their audience's gullibility and spread misinformation for the sake of getting attention and views. I mean, look at this ludicrous quote tweet that this person posted in response to their own video. Burning Man is a poor man's Bohemian Grove. Location, Black Rock City, Nevada. Burning Man itself is an EDM-flavored occult ritual of the druids who would burn criminals and also sometimes innocent people if supply was low. Like, what the fuck is this dude waffling about? Druids? Occult ritual? There's nothing occult about this. It's not hidden. There's nothing that is fucking secret about it. Anybody can go if they have the money. It's not like thousands of people are fucking being slaughtered for the sake of some ritual either. Like, they're not murdering people and throwing them into the fucking pit. Founders of Burning Man are Larry Harvey and John Law. Burning Man has some of the highest suicide rates for staff and volunteers. This claim is absolutely fucking insane, and let me explain why. He's being very disingenuous here, and he's also exaggerating greatly like the level of people that have actually died from suicide at Burning Man events. Between 2009 and 2015, 7 Burning Man employees have died by suicide. When you compare that number to the amount of employees that Burning Man has and the amount of new employees that get hired on as well as volunteers, of course the rate is going to be high, especially if these numbers are taken from an event that is held annually, doesn't hire people that often, and only has an employee count of barely 467 people. In contrast and relative to other events and other facilities, of course this number is going to be fucking outrageous. This is probably going to be a dumb comparison, but if a warehouse has 100 employees and none of them commit suicide in the next 10 years, then of course the suicide rates in Burning Man relative to that facility are going to be significantly fucking higher. So not only is this statement exaggerative, it's also disingenuous and only made to fearmonger other people. He then goes on to say this bullshit right here. Attendees are sacrificed spiritually by unknowingly consenting to energy harvesting of Clepothic demons and void magic? What the fuck is this man talking about? What is any of these words? It's clear that this person is schizoposting to the highest degree, and anything that they say can only be taken with a grain of salt. Actually, less than a grain of salt. It can be taken with a grain of fucking sand, because none of this actually means anything. It's a lot of make-believe bullshit to farm interactions from people that are too gullible to know what's left from right. I'm gonna show you guys something by the end of this video that is gonna make this entire fucking shit completely fucking hilarious. So this same account, which is the account that I'm using for all of this schizo posting, posted a video about UFOs and how aliens are actually demons. Who would have fucking thought, am I right? So during this entire video, and I don't mean to discredit this guy because apparently he is a retired astronaut, he's just using his religious beliefs to justify the existence of aliens as a sort of religious bias, which automatically throws out any argument out the window.
So this guy's a retired astronaut, and he tells us that he believes aliens are demons. Let's take a look.
Alien life, I believe God showed me a specific answer to two prayers, that they're demonic, and that they're demonic beings that make an appearance and appear to be real, and they are real. Satan, Bible says Satan can appear as an angel of light. So they can appear, and so nothing human can make a 90-degree turn at 3,000 miles an hour and survive. And so they have these, and I think the purpose is to draw you away from the real
That's exactly
God,
right.
and say, look at us, and this is where you ought to be, because we are superhuman, and we can do it. So
There you have it. Aliens are demons.
The way he tries to claim the existence of aliens due to the fact that they can do supernatural things, similar to demons, it's just unsubstantial, and nobody with a fucking level head would actually believe any of this nonsense. But regardless of that, this stupid cringy ass TikTok shows this dude claiming that aliens are real because this dude says that demons are fucking aliens. It goes to show that people are willing to make up anything and believe anything for the sake of content and for the sake of getting a little bit of clout from anybody else. Upon doing some research, I actually found this whole interview, and he claims at the very first moment of the interview that he doesn't actually believe that aliens are real, but believes that there are demons that disguise themselves as what people think are aliens.
So you believe are in UFOs, alien life?
No, I don't believe in alien life. I believe that God showed me a specific answer to two prayers, that they're demonic.
So not only did this TikToker spread misinformation, a whole lot of conspiracy bullshit, the interview that he sampled from the clip is actually contradictory to his presentation stating that aliens are real. But of course, nobody does their research and people are gonna believe this, so let's look at the fucking replies and look at some peak fucking content. I love reading these batshit insane takes that are always in the replies because they're hilarious. Okay, some of these aren't even funny. Well, actually, the majority of them aren't even funny because these people are actually so enthralled by what's being presented to them that they actually believe what they are being told. Most of these replies are genuinely in belief of what this video presented to them. And that brings me to my conclusion. There is a whole culture on the internet that has all of this schizo conspiracy theorist vibe to it that makes up a whole lot of misinformation and then presents it to a lot of TikTok audiences as fact. And since a lot of people these days don't really know how to do research or think for themselves, they take these videos and run with them, and they take everything that is presented to them as fact. This leads to a lot of people having a lot of falsehoods in their head, they fear things that don't really exist, and then they start spreading this information to other people. It's like that weird uncle at dinner that starts talking about some of the most ludicrous shit because he saw a weird post on Facebook. And it doesn't help that there's a whole community that circle jerks each other based off this information and treats it as fact. Now, here's this fucking hilarious shit that I was talking about earlier. As I was scrolling through this person's account trying to find more of this content to make fun of and assess, I found the absolute fucking gold mine. This man actually posted this image as fact. This image is literally a Photoshop render. At this point, I can't really tell if he's baiting or being completely fucking serious because it's so hard to understand what goes through some of these people's heads sometimes. But my money is on that he's completely fucking baiting and he's just trolling. With the amount of gullible people that are willing to believe all of this shit who have been completely rotted by Facebook and TikTok, there is no doubt that this is an easy engagement farm and an easy way to get revenue from Twitter. It's obvious that he had this persona persona way before Twitter started being monetized, but another thing that I want to mention is that it is incredibly easy to monetize delusional schizo posting. There are a lot of schizo-ass individuals out there, and today I showed you all that to the highest degree. Anyways, I don't know how to end the video, but I do want to mention that the reason I made this video was to show you guys that there is a lot of fucking TikTok brainrot out there that will immediately corrupt a lot of people, especially if they don't do their due diligence in researching and finding things out for themselves. That's all for today, everybody. Thank you for watching. I love you guys, and see you all next time.